Gayatri Trilogy, where we will be unraveling the mysteries of the Gayatri Mantra in 3 sessions. But before we get into the mysteries, do you all want to listen to an amazing story? Show me a thumbs up if you want to listen to this amazing story. Oh, I see so many thumbs up. Let's not waste any time and move forward to the story. So it's a story that happened years ago. This is a story of a great king. His name was King Kaushika. All of his ministers and his subjects used to say, Kaushik Maharaj ki jai, Kaushik Maharaj ki jai. And he used to be so happy when they said that. He used to be so proud. But at the same time, he tried to keep all his subjects happy. He liked to do so many things, sitting in the court, eating delicious food, and hunting. It was one sunny day where King Kaushika went for hunting. Not because he liked to kill animals or something like that, but because the population of animals had increased so much in the forest, and the people came running and complained to him that it's become so dangerous to live in this village. In your kingdom, it's become very difficult. Oh, king, please do something. And that's when he thought about the issue and said, let's go hunting. And he went to a forest. He did a lot of hunting. It took him 6 hours, and he just kept running and riding on his horse, and on and on and on he went. He was so tired. And with him, you know who came? His soldiers. But it's not that which is surprising. But what is surprising is the number of soldiers who accompanied him. Can you guess how many soldiers? Not 5 or 10 or 100 or 1,000. 1 aksha only of soldiers accompanied him. How much is that 1 aksha? It's a lot of soldiers. It's more than 21,000 soldiers. So it's those many soldiers that he took for hunting. So not only was he tired, but all these soldiers were tired. They said, oh, king, don't know about the animals, but we are all dying here because of how tired we've become. You've been making us to run and run and run. We're so tired, and it's so sunny as well. If you let us stand for another second in this forest, I'm going to faint. We're all going to faint here, and you'll have to return to the kingdom alone. So the king said, okay, let us go back to the kingdom. But before that, let us go meet Sage Vishvamitra. So Sage Vishvamira's ashram or hermitage was in the same forest. So he said, let us go and meet the Sage Vishvamitra once. He's such a great sage. He's so enlightened and wise. Let us take his blessings and then we can leave. So he went to Sage Vishvamitra. As soon as he entered the hermitage, Sage Vishvamitra came and he welcomed him. Oh, dear king, please come in. We welcome you to our hermitage. And King Kaushika immediately bowed down, touched the feet of Sage Vishvamitra and said, please do bless me. And so did the sage too. This now, as I already told you, the soldiers and the king were so hungry and tired. So they were waiting to go back home. So they said, we'll take leave now, O great sage. But then Sage Vishvamitra understood the situation. He knew that the kingdom is still far away and it will take hours for them to go back walking or on riding the horse to their kingdom. So he said, oh great king, please sit here and let me serve you some good food. Please do accept our hospitality and then you can leave. But then the king did not want to say no. But then he thought, it is such a little hermitage. There are so little people, and me, one Akshahuni soldiers. How will they feed us? How will they cook? Even if they cook for 3 years, they will not be able to serve us. So he said, it's so such a heavy heart. He said, no, said Vasishta, we will go back to our kingdom. We are not so hungry. But then Sage Vashishta could read his mind this time as well. He said, please don't worry, O king. We will manage. Don't worry at all. You please sit here, take rest. Let us see, maybe the sage will arrange for some fruits and water. Let me go freshen up. So all of them went, put some water onto their face, and they weren't done freshening up. And Sage Vashishta and his disciples were already starting to serve food. They were ready. And guess what? It was not fruits and water, but it was so many delicious variety of dishes. Whatever you name your favorite dish. And he said, here it is. Please take this. Please let me serve and you can eat. So he started feeding all the sages. Here, he started feeding all the soldiers. Here, take some more, take some more. And it seemed like such a unique thing happening. Like it could never happen. How can such a small hermitage be feeding me and my so many thousands of soldiers? He was wondering, but then he was so hungry that he did not want to ask anything. He quickly had it and he said, thank you, Sage. I will go back to my kingdom now. But he still had one question before going back. He thought, how can Sage Vashishta cook so much of food? How can he do that? He had so many questions, but he did not want to ask these questions to Vashishta. But Vashishta again read his mind. He said, come on, I'll take you to a tour in my hermitage. So he started showing the king different things. See, this is where my disciples stay. This is my wife. This is where we perform yajnas. Come, finally, once he was done showing everything, he said, come, I'll take you to meet my beloved daughter. Come on, I will take you. You will see my daughter. She is such a wonderful little girl. So, you know whom he showed as his daughter? He showed a cow. Cow as his daughter. The king is, this cow. How come? So he said, you do remember that Samudra Manthan that had happened years back? Yes, he says. So in that Samudra Manthan, you know, right, there was a divine cow that came out of it. Its name was Kamadhenu. You all know who a Kamadhenu is. Does any one of you know who a Kamadhenu is? Do you want to say who a Kamadhenu is? Yes, Vidisha. Who is a Kamadhenu?
It's the holy cow of Hindu religion.
Yes, it's the holy cow and the wish granting cow. What is a wish granting cow? So you stand in front of the cow, you fold your hands and you say, I want some delicious food. This food appears. I want some new clothes. The new clothes appears. You say, I want some 1,000 coins. The 1,000 coins appears. You ask for anything that appears. What? You know Lord Indra, right? Lord Indra gifted this Kamadhenu cow's daughter to care of this cow Nandini so well with so much of love that in these few years he had so much love that he considered this cow as his daughter. And this cow Nandini was also a wish granting cow. So he explained all of this to Sage Vishvamitra. Sage Vishvamitra was also very he was so surprised that Sage Vashishta had this cow, and it was this cow that had created so much of meals. It had granted all of the delicious meals for the Vanakshahuni soldiers to eat. And the meals were very delicious and so very tasty. So Sage Vishwamitra was about to take leave when he said, "Dear Sage Vashishta, you have this beautiful cow Nandini, but it is in your ashram where there are very little people, you and your disciples, and you two don't have any desires in life. You have given up all the materialistic desires. But if you give this cow to me, in my kingdom, it will help so many people. I can use it for different things. Moreover, I am a king, so I can use to generate a lot of wealth, which I'll use not only for my well being, but also my kingdom's well being. Please give me this cow." So, Sage Vasishta says, "Dear king, this is not just a cow. She is my daughter, and I cannot separate my daughter from me. Can any king say cow for free? I will give you lots of gold. I will give you many thousands of cow. I will give you 100 elephants, which are dressed in gold. Value to my daughter. I love her so much that I can't stay here without her. I am so much attached to my little daughter that I cannot give you her away. Moreover, me giving away you, me giving me giving you this cow is not at all possible, because this cow is not some non-living thing like a book. You want to this Kaushika and asks this cow Nandini, "Do you want to come with me to my kingdom? We will feed you delicious thing and you can have it. You will stay very happy in our kingdom inside my palace. Do you want to come and stay with us?" But this cow starts crying. The cow runs and tries to start licking Sage Vasishta. "How can you do this to me? How are you going to send me to this king?" The cow starts crying. Tears start flowing from her eyes. She's saying, "Please, please don't give me to this King Kaushika. Please keep me with you." She starts crying and tears start flowing and flowing. But Sage Vasishta says, "See, my dear daughter, it is your wish. If you do not want to go, nobody can force you. You stay here with me. It is not easy for me as well to send you away. So you please stay here and you don't have to go anywhere else." But then Sage Vishwamitra now gets very angry. "Nobody is asking you and this cow. I am the king and you live inside my kingdom. So I am not asking you. I am just going to snatch this cow away. And what can you do? What do you have? Do you have someone to fight for this cow?" "I have one Akshahuni of soldiers." And he says, commands his soldiers, "Attack." And all the soldiers start firing thousands of arrows at once through its Sage Vasishta and the ashram. So many arrows that it looks like it's raining arrows from sky. There's thousands of arrows coming down, swoosh. And no soldiers on Sage Vasishta side the story. I request all of you to please hold your hands and we once again recite this shloka of Gayatri. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bargho Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. The Gayatri Mantra, the mantra that we just chanted, it is describing the brilliance of the sun god. And it also denotes the goddess Gayatri. So let us say you just read a wonderful book. So as soon as you're done reading the book, what do? You thank its author, right? After you're done reading the book, you first thank the author. Thank you for writing such a wonderful book, such a nice story. I enjoyed the story so much. Then, whom do you thank? You thank that friend who suggested you to read that book, right? Because if your friend wouldn't have suggested you, then how would you have known that there is such a wonderful story and such a wonderful book, and how would you have ever experienced the joy while reading the book? Similarly, you should know that there are so many benefits that you get by chanting the Gayatri Mantra. You've also observed today how peaceful and calm your mind became as soon as we finished the Gayatri Dhyana, right? So, before we actually understand the power of Gayatri Mantra, we get to know its benefits, we come to know about the secrets of the Gayatri Mantra, it is important to chant all the energies which helped us to be able to chant the Gayatri Mantra. And that is what we are going to do in today's session. And in the coming sessions, we will be unraveling such amazing mysteries of the Gayatri Mantra. So let us first know who are the people behind the Gayatri Mantra. All of this comes in some Sanskrit verses. Asya Shri Gayatri Mantrasya. Here we are talking about the Gayatri Mantra. Vishwamitra Rishihi. It is Vishwamitra Rishi who gave us this Gayatri Mantra. He was the one who realized the Gayatri Mantra and taught it to the mankind. And it's because of him that we know this mantra. Gayatri Chandaha. All the Gayatri shloka and all the many other Sanskrit shlokas and hymns, all of them are written in chandas. What is a chandas? It is different combinations of syllables. What is a syllable? Syllable is sound. For example, you take any word like Vidisha. So Vidisha has 3 syllables. Vi, Di, Sha. These syllables are nothing but sounds. So how are these sounds arranged? Is the chandas. So the Gayatri Chandas is the name of this Chandas. So Gayatri is the name of this particular Chandas. Savita Devata. So the shloka is on a god or a deity. And who is that god? It is God Savitur. Savitur is nothing but the god of sun or the sun god. He is called Savitur. Japopanayana vinyogaha. Why do we use this Gayatri Mantra? Where can we use or chant it? We can chant it to do japas like how we did today, or for vinyogaha, for initiations. So this is all about the Gayatri Mantra, the people behind it and everything. But what is Chandas? Who is Savitur? And why exactly or how exactly did Gayatri Mantra come into origin? All of this will be unraveled in the coming session. Now is the exciting part of the story. It's quiz time. So we'll find 3 questions in the quiz. And if you know the answer to the question, you need to raise your hand and wait for your name to be called out. The first question is on your screen. Who is the daughter of Kamadhenu? Option A, Surabhi. Option B, Nandini. Option C, Lakshmi, or none of the above. Yes, Vyomeshwar.
It's option B, Nandini.
Excellent. You're right. The answer to this question is Nandini. The second question is on your screen now. Which lineage did King Kaushika belong to? Option A, Kusha. Option B, Surya. Option C, Chandra. Or option D, both A and B? Yes, Snigdha.
I think it's both A and B.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to answer this question? The
Ma'am?
answer is partially correct though. Yes, Ramakrishna.
I think it is Surya.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, Vidisha.
It's option A, Kusha.
Very good. You get the hint from the name Kaushika. So Kaushika is somehow derived from the lineage that is Kusha. So excellent, Vidisha, and very good, everybody. All of you who tried, you used your mind to solve this question. That's very nice. So the right answer is Kusha. The last question. Whose ashram did King Kaushik stop to rest during the hunt? Option A, Sage Vishwamitra's hermitage. Option B, Sage Valmiki's hermitage. Option C, Sage Vyasa. Or option D, Vashishta. I see so many of you answering and raising your hand. Yes, Pramukh.
It is option D, Vasishta, Sage Vasishta.
Excellent. Very good, Pramukh. Very good, everybody. So it is Sage Vashishta. One big round of applause for everybody who listened to the story and to all of you who answered this quiz. Very good. The war had begun. That is, King Kaushik sent his entire Akshahuni of soldiers towards the cow, Nandini. Here, Kaushika has one Akshahuni, that is so many soldiers, and this huge army is running towards this ashram. Now, what happens? We all know that Nandini is the wishful cow. If she can fulfill others' wish, why can't she fulfill her own wish? So what she does here is she generates millions of soldiers. She starts generating so many soldiers that one big Akshahuni of soldiers becomes so tiny in front of these millions and millions of soldiers that Nandini just created. Now the war ensues, but then within seconds, King Kaushika's army is destroyed because the army created by Nandini is so big and so large. Now King Kaushika feels very sad and he's so angry. His entire army is destroyed in front of his eyes. What is he going to do now? He can't do anything because now Nandini isn't coming, and his strength, his confidence, his courage, his army, it's gone. It's vanished into some dust particles. So now he's just angry and sad and he goes back home. And in his home are his sons waiting. Okay, father is gonna now narrate some exciting stories from his hunting episode. And they say, Father, what's this story? What did you hunt? What did you see in the forest? But then they see that their father is so sad. He's in no mood. And now they know that if they ask him one more question, then he's just going to whack them and shoo them away. So his sons go to some of the one of these soldiers or the close minister who had accompanied King Kaushik, but he'd survived the war. He asks him what happened, and this close minister, he narrates the entire episode. Now these sons, in a fit of rage, run towards the sage Vashishta's ashram. And these sons don't go alone. They're smarter. This time they take their entire army. So many Akshahunis. Can Nandini create those many armies? They are sure that she can't create. But because they don't know Nandini's power, but they just take the entire army and rush towards Sage Vashishta's ashram. But this time Sage Vashishta is not going to take anything from them. He straight away angrily says that please go away from here because my daughter, she's not interested in coming with you. But then the sons are very stubborn to make their father feel proud of them. So they order their army to run towards Vashishta. And did you know what Vashishta did? This time it wasn't Nandini who saved them. It was Sage Vashishta himself. He just uttered one syllable of an entire mantra, just one syllable. And all the army and its entire soldiers, it all vanished in just 1 second. And the sons were searching, where did the army go? Where did all the soldiers disappear? Where? They were so perplexed, and this time they were so scared that this is not something I can deal with, and they all ran back home. Hearing to all of this, King Kaushik understood one thing. In front of cow Nandini or in front of Sage Vashishta's divine powers that he's attained due to his spiritual practices, his army, his materialistic possessions, all of them go in vain. They're no match. So here, King Kaushik takes an oath. I am going to become a rishi. I'll gather all the divine astras and then attack on Sage Vashishta. So here he goes to Lord Shiva and prays, "Oh Lord Shiva, please grant me a boon." And he starts doing a deep penance and he starts meditating for months and months and months. And one day, Lord Shiva appears. He asks, "Yes, King Kaushik, what do you want?" So King Kaushik says, "Please give me the knowledge of all the divine astras and give me such a power that I should be able to destroy anybody with these divine astras." So Lord Shiva gives all of this knowledge to King Kaushik. And King Kaushik angrily starts walking and still happy and angry, both a mix-up emotion. He goes, "Now let me see how Sage Vashishta will be able to stand in front of him. Not seconds. I will put all my divine astras in front of him." He rushes towards Sage Vashishta's ashram. And there he sees that Sage Vashishta isn't around. But he is very angry. So he burns Sage Vashishta's ashram. And hearing this, Sage Vashishta comes running towards his ashram. He sees the state of his ashram. He feels very sad. All the animals and all the birds that he placed inside the ashram, they were all running outside. All his disciples and devotees, whom he considered as his own son, they were all sitting outside and crying. This made him very sad. Until now, Sage Vashishta thought that King Kaushik had no knowledge. He was just acting like some foolish child, and that's the reason he kept forgiving him. But now, Sage Vashishta was deeply saddened. So he angrily asks, "Enough is enough. Stop all of this, and now you are not going to get Nandini, so please go away from here and stop disturbing us." But here, what this King Kaushika does is, he takes all of his Daivi Astras and once he sends all of them towards the Sage Vashishta. And do you know what Sage Vashishta did? He did not utter a single mantra. He did not let Nandini let some divine astras or generate some more soldiers. He just holds his Brahma Danda on top. And that Brahma Danda, or a divine staff, it has a lot of power. It is said that many of the meditative powers that they receive through this deep penance and all the other spiritual powers, even the staff shares along with that person who does this. So now this divine astra somehow magically absorbs all of this divine astras that Sage Vashishta is sending. So this divine staff is absorbing everything. And definitely the divine astras of King Kaushika is of no use. Now he was called as a Raja Rishi. What does that mean? Raja Rishi. So someone who was a king has now become a sage. But now Sage Vashishta had made King Kaushika realize that you cannot defeat Sage Vashishta just by some penance or with the help of some divine astras. He needs to become a Brahmarishi himself. Like how Sage Vashishta is a Brahmarishi. But who is a Brahmarishi? A Brahmarishi is the one who realizes the Brahman. Who's the Brahman? Brahman is the divine light. And what is there to realize about this divine light? The realization is that I myself am this divine light. I am that Tattvamasi. This is the realization. And this is not something that you can listen and understand, but something that you need to experience through this process, and then you will be able to believe. And that is what Sage Vashishta had been through. And it was not possible for King Kaushika to defeat Sage Vashishta. So here he sets out to some deep penance. A wonderful story that comes in between. There is a king called King Trishanku. He is a disciple of Sage Vashishta. So one day he comes to the Sage Vashishta and he says, "Oh sage, I have a wish. I want to go to heaven, but with this worldly body. Can you please send me, oh Guru?" But then Sage Vashishta says that this is against the nature that we gods have given us, and this is against the laws that is set by them. So this is not possible. But then he keeps pleading, but Sage Vashishta firmly says no. But one day, this King Trishanku, he goes to Sage, to this now sage, but before king, the Sage Kaushika, as we will now call him. So now Sage Kaushika, he first listens to Trishanku's story. And here Trishanku tells that he had not only begged Vashishta, but he'd also begged some of the disciples to do this for him. But the disciples got so angry because Trishanku was saying, "You do it, or I'll go to some other guru. I'll take him as my guru. I'll accept that, and then he will send me. Now you do it, or I'll get it done by somebody else." So the disciples get so angry. First of all, our father says Vashishta has already denied you, and now you're being such a foolish person. You're ready to give up your guru, change him, and disrespect him just for some foolish desire of yours. So they curse him to become a very ugly person that nobody can identify as a king, that someone would outcast him and nobody would ever talk to him again. Now King Trishanku, who is out of this entire ashram, he goes to his kingdom, and there the soldiers don't recognize him. Instead, they kick him out of the kingdom. And this entire situation, he narrates it to Sage Kaushik. Now, Sage Kaushik listens to it. He feels a little sad for King Trishanku. So he decides to do it. But when he realizes that he was the guru of Sage Vashishta before, that's when he knows that, yes, this time I have to do it, because I have to always go against Sage Vashishta and I always have to do something wrong. So I'm going to do that. So he performs another huge yajna where he invites everybody to come. And everybody comes to that yajna, this special yajna where someone can go to heaven with their worldly body. But some people don't turn up. Who are they? It says Vashishta and few of his disciples. But leaving all of this, he still says, "Come on, let's do this yajna." When he does this yajna, he performs this yajna in such a grand way that all the devatas also start watching it. And at the same time, he sends Trishanku to heaven. But at the very moment when he was supposed to enter heaven, Indra pushes him back to earth. Now, just as he was about to fall on earth, Sage Kaushik becomes very angry and he says, "Stop." Now, Trishanku is stuck between heaven and earth and he has nowhere to go. Now, what will happen to Trishanku? How is he going to escape this situation? This we are going to continue in some other session. So now that we have something for you to think about, we will go in much depth into this story some other time. Now that you've understood that this particular sage Kaushik has so many distractions. So first of all, he understands that due to this yagna, he has lost all of his meditative powers. Everything is gone. So he starts meditating again, leaving all of his distractions. Now Indra sees this foolish sage, as soon as he gets any power, he's going to use it to do something wrong and go against the nature. So let us distract him nicely. So he sends a beautiful dancer who dances so well that anybody wants to see her dance. And her name is Apsara Menake. So now she starts dancing, and her anklets music also distract Sage Kaushik. And he immediately gets distracted and looks at her. And he realizes that again, all of his meditative powers are gone. Now he overcomes this desire. And then he's again meditating. Now Indra knows that. So have you observed that when a rat into your house, you apply various methods to send it out. And one method, let's say, lets it go out. Now, when you see another rat come in, you know that you'll have to do the same thing again. So Indra does the same thing. He sends an other Apsara. Her name is Rambe. But this time, he does not get distracted. But then once his meditation is done, he opens his eyes and he sees Rambe. And he gets very angry on her. How dare you come and disrupt my meditation? So he curses her. Now he realizes that all of his meditative powers are gone again. Why? Because of anger. So now he tries to get rid of anger. Like this, slowly, step by step, one step at a time, he gets rid of all the Arishad Vargas, which is Kama, Krodha, Labha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, which means desire, anger, greed, ego, attachment, and partiality. One by one, he gets rid of all of them and he gets the title of Maharishi. But this doesn't stop him because he wants to be a Brahmarishi. So he starts meditating seriously. He gives up food, then he gives up water, then he even stops breathing. He gives up everything. Nothing can stop him from meditation. Here, we know that Indra tried to disrupt his meditations many times. But why? Is he really scared of this sage or what he's going to do after? The only reason why Indra does this is to test whether this particular person is really eligible to be called as a Brahmarishi or not. So Indra, just like how he does always, comes in the form of a sage. Now Sage Kaushika, who just completed his meditation, comes up and he's fasted for many months, like I told you. He's not drank some water, he hasn't eaten food. Now that he's completed this for a period of time that he decided, he opens his eyes and he collects some food. And just as he was about to keep that one morsel of food into his mouth, King Indra comes in form of a beggar or a rishi. He comes and begs in front of King Kaushika, saying, please give me some food. I haven't eaten for months. Will this sage Kaushika give him the food and pass the test? Or will he still become and get into this trap of these worldly desires and emotions? And will he not be able to control his hunger and eat the food and deny this hungry person from food? Will he pass the test? And if he passes the test, will he become a Brahmarishi? Or are there many other tests that are coming up? And if he passes all of them and becomes a Brahmarishi, will there be another war between Sage Vashishta and Sage Kaushika? Know all of this in the coming session, which is the next Monday, where we will continue the story. And that is the last episode of Gayatri Trilogy. Now we come to the second part of the Gayatri Trilogy. In this section, we call it the Chant It Right. I know all of you have chanted the Gayatri Mantra hundreds of times before. And in this session itself, you've chanted it 9 to 10 times. But have you ever, are you chanting it the correct way? Is your pronunciation right? let all your doubts fly away, because now we're going to see if you're chanting it right. Before we begin, you will observe that written in Sanskrit and the second line is written in English. In Sanskrit, we have no problem because the way it is written, you just have to read it. But then these Sanskrit shlokas, they're so into detail that English as a language, you just cannot use the language to tell you how to pronounce it. That's the reason I have given you some capital letters and some small letters. So these capital letters you've got to stretch. And the letters which have after it, like this bh and this dha, you'll have to take it into the Mahaprana, not ba or the, bh and dha. If you have any confusion, you can place your palm in front of your mouth and see if you can feel the air coming out on your palm. So if you feel the air, then it's Mahaprana. Now I want to ask, who wants to be the lucky person who's going to chant after this? Okay, yes, Vidisha. So now I'm going to chant and Vidisha is going to chant after me and all of you are going to chant along with Vidisha. Show me a thumbs up if you got this. Great. Now let us hold our hands, sit straight and you can chant after me. Om.
Om.
Bhur.
Bhur.
Bhuvasvaha.
Bhuvasvaha.
Tat.
Tat.
Savitur.
Savitur.
Varenyam.
Varenyam.
Bhargo.
Bhargo.
Devasya dhimahi.
Devasya dhimahi.
Dhiyo yonah
Dhiyo yona.
prachodayat.
Prachodayat.
Excellent, Isha. Very good, everybody. Now all of you can chant with me once without any breaks in between. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Thank you, everybody, for the wonderful session. Now, let us quickly get into this final section of the quiz time. We're going to finish it really quick because I know all of you are so fast and so smart. The first question, who wished to go to heaven? Duryodhana, Trishanku, Arjuna, or Vikram? Raise your hand. The first hand I saw is Snigda's. Yes, Snigda, what's your answer?
Trishanku.
Excellent. Very good. Very good, Snigda. It's Trishanku. The next question. Raise your hands faster this time. Who wanted to test Kaushik? Indra, Surya, Chandra, or both Indra and Surya? Okay, yes, Shriyans. Go ahead. What's the answer?
A. Indra.
Very good, Shriyans. It's Indra. The third and final question. Raise your hand if you know the answer. Which title did Kaushik want to acquire? Rishi, Raja Rishi, Maharishi, or Brahma Rishi? The first hand I saw is Shreyas. Yes, Shreyas, go ahead. What's your answer?
Option D, Brahma Rishi.
Very good, Shreyas. Excellent. So the correct answer is Brahma Rishi. A huge round of applause to everybody, the ones who answered and the ones who had the answer in your mind but could not answer, and also the ones who listened to the story. Good job, everybody. We saw how Indra was in the form of a poor Brahmin, begged for food. And without a moment of hesitation or thought, quickly King Kaushika handed over his part of food. And without even waiting for the reply or any other statement, he quickly closed his eyes and went into deep meditation because he wanted the status of Brahma Rishi to tackle Sage Vashishta. here, Indra is very happy. Lord Indra quickly returns to heaven and he convinces Brahma to come and get in front of King Kaushika and declare that he is a Brahmarishi. But Brahma is still not convinced. He says that this is not the time. I don't think he deserves to be a Brahmarishi so soon. But still, because all of them were forcing them so much and they were afraid on what King Kaushik would do if they still did not declare him as a Brahmarishi, they appeared in front of him, blessed King Kaushika, and declared him as a Brahmarishi. Now, Brahma says, you are a Brahmarishi. King Kaushika, your wishes have been fulfilled. King Kaushika says, it is very nice that you are telling me I'm a Brahmarishi, but I want to become the best Brahmarishi ever. Brahma says, we will see. My child, for now, you continue your penance. Here, now that King Kaushik has realized he is the Brahmarishi, the only thing he wants to do now is to run to the sage Vashishta and tell him that I am the Brahmarishi. I am also a Brahmarishi, and snatch Kamadenu's daughter Nandini from sage Vashishta. So he rushes to the ashram of sage Vashishta. Here, sage Vashishta and his wife are having a conversation exactly at the time when King Kaushika comes near their hermitage. He hears to a name, and that's none other than his own name. They're talking about King Kaushik. So he quickly hides behind the tree and listens to what they're conversing. The wife of Sage Vashishta says, why don't you just tell sorry or just declare him as the Brahmarishi and just say, okay, you've just won. What is the need of all of this havoc and the kind of conflict you're having between each other? Now, the reply that Sage Vashishta gives is very important. He says, I can't do so because I love King Kaushik from all my heart. He's my beloved. I want him to continue his practice. But now, if I tell him that you are the Brahmarishi and that everything between us is sorted, then I'm afraid that he might just stop his penance here and go back to his kingdom and start living lavishly. Because I know that he is not yet come out of the jealousy or the enmity he has within him for me. Though he has overcome all the other bad qualities, he still has this one quality which I want him to remove from himself with this practice. So I can't do it. It's all right that if I become a bad person in his eyes, I don't mind. But I want him to become a good person and to become the best version of himself and to become the one who has truly realized Brahman. Hearing this, King Kaushika's eyes are filled with tears. He starts crying. All my life, this guru, my guru, Sage Vashishta, has been blessing me. It's because of him that I was able to rule such a vast kingdom. And I disobeyed and disrespected my own guru. For what? For a cow, for materialistic things that the cow will gift me. Only for that, I went against my own guru. He was ashamed of himself. He did not even have the courage to go and stand in front of Sage Vashishta. Now, he was overcome with so much of love and there was not a pinch of bad quality within him. And he was so much filled with love for the world that he was then renamed as Vishwamitra. Yes, the same Sage Vishvamitra that we all know and we've all heard of is King Kaushik himself. This is not only the story of the discovery or of how Gayatri Mantra came into existence, but also the story of the transformation of King Kaushik to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, let us understand his state of mind or his persona through his name that he has now received. In Vishwamitra, the word Vishwa means the universe. And the word Mitra means the friend. So Vishwamitra means the friend of the universe. And who is a friend? The one who loves that friend, and the one who is ready to do anything for the friend who is in need, to help him all the time and to always want the best for that person. Such is friendship. And such was the love that Vishwamitra had for the universe and all the entities in universe. So now he did not want to be a Brahmarishi at all, but he became a Brahmarishi. The moment he lost the desire to be a Brahmarishi, that very moment he became a Brahmarishi. This is the irony of the story. Now he did not meditate to become a Brahmarishi or to gather any other title. He meditated only for the well-being of the university. He meditated only to find peace, only to be one with the Brahman, not to be a Brahmarishi. This is when, after years of penance, Lord Vishnu himself appeared. He blessed him. What else do you want? Why are you meditating? He says, I am not meditating to get anything. I have everything in me. Whatever I need is me. I've realized that. I don't see any other purpose in my life. I just want to meditate. Lord Vishnu, who knew that Sage Vishvamitra had such feelings for the universe, Lord Vishnu had a task, but he wanted to give this task to a person who would love the universe like his own children and would do anything for him, for the universe. And he knew that there could be no better person than Vishwamitra himself. So he says, I have a task for you. You had such a great willpower. In a human body, you were able to overcome all the bad qualities and you were able to realize me. And you became a Brahmarishi. But what about the people who come later on in time? They will not have such willpower. There will be destruction only in the coming ages. So what about those people? You do have compassion on them, don't you? Don't you want to find a solution for that? And Lord Vishnu disappears. Sage Vishvamitra is a Brahmarishi. A Brahmarishi has nothing called as time. So do you know what he did? He had a question. What is destruction? What will happen in the coming time? He time travels. He time travels to find out what will happen in the future. He takes another human body form and he moves from this particular time to the time in future to find out what was happening. He travels not a year or two forward in time, but yugas, which are hundreds and thousands of years. He travels from Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga to Kali Yuga. He notices how suffering has increased, how the bad qualities in human beings have increased, how they don't have any compassion towards other living beings like the plants and other animals. But what shocked him most is the Kali Yuga. He was devastated seeing the state of people in the Kali Yuga. He was overcome with compassion, but more than compassion, it was grief and sorrow, because he had now realized what his children would go through: war, death, suffering, and greed for money, nothing else. He was so touched that he started meditating. He started meditating to see what could be done. He was so much in suffering just by seeing the suffering. He meditated day and night, weeks, months, years, thousands of years, 2000s of years. He kept meditating and meditating and meditating. One such day, when he was meditating, do you know what happened? He heard a sound. And as soon as he heard that sound, he realized that his mind was calming down. There was something happening. He also felt a vibration on his Agnya Chakra. Yes, the same place where we all focused during the Gayatri Dhyana. He noticed that vibration. He started feeling some kind of joy, some kind of bliss. He had no worry. Now he knew this sound was the solution. He focused on his Agnya Chakra. and tried to listen to what that sound was. He started making sense. The sound he could imagine on his forehead through his third eye, he could imagine this sound started with Om. It was written in different syllables. He could make sense of what those syllables are. It was written in 3 lines. And that powerful shloka is none other than the Gayatri Mantra. Let us all chant the Gayatri Mantra now. Please fold your hands and keep your back straight and start chanting along with me. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. What does this mantra mean? In simple terms, we say, O Master of the universe, our protector, the one who takes away all our sufferings and one who gives us happiness and contentment, we contemplate and meditate to the creator of the universe in the form of his knowledge and pure bliss and brilliance. Please motivate us to perform good deeds. It is said that only the chanting of the God's name and mantras that are so powerful like Gayatri Mantra can save us and help us pass this difficult time of the Kali Yuga, where humanity seems like have lost its value and meaning. Sage Vishvamitra tried researching more on the Gayatri Mantra. He realized its meaning, its essence, and the benefits one receives. Let us see what are the few benefits. But before that, it was Sage Vishwamitra himself. Once he realized the Gayatri Mantra, he did not stop there and keep it to himself because he loved the entire universe and had such deep friendship and love towards them. He spread this mantra far and wide, taught it to all of his students, and requested them to teach their students. And such is how the Gayatri Mantra has passed on from generation to generation and generation. Let us see what are the benefits. The Gayatri Mantra uplifts one's consciousness. It develops a strong intuition. It improves sleep pattern and appetite, improves immunity. It increases concentration and learning. It helps keep our heart healthy. It improves the working of our nerves. It strengthens our mind and gives our skin a glow. All of these I've told you in simple terms, so I'm sure you understand the meaning of these benefits. But what is the secret? How exactly, when we chant a 4-line or a 3-line mantra written in a language which most of us don't really understand in present times, how is it able to give us so many benefits? That is the secret of vibrations. Physics has already shown us that everything in the world is energy or vibration. Many of us must have read the same in our school textbooks. Our body, which is also made of pure energy, and the cells, all of them vibrate at a specific frequency. And through some Sanskrit mantras, when we resonate in balance, we experience a state of peace and relaxation and good health. Our ancient seekers and sages knew about this world of vibration far before modern science ever thought of it. Our ancestors developed an exact science of transcendental vibration to release the mind of all the anxieties of material life, the Maya. And such things are called as mantras. Such vibrations and sounds are called as mantra. And the very term mantra literally means that which heals. Of the many mantras we might know, the Gayatri Mantra holds utmost importance. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in the Rig Veda. It is made of the most sacred Vedic meter or chandas, as we saw in the very first episode. This chandas is known as the Gayatri meter. There are several modern studies that show that the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra within this chandas increases the synchronicity of the cardiovascular rhythm and also increases the barrel reflex sensitivity. These findings suggest that the recitation of mantra at a specific frequency induces favorable psychological and physiological effects. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is mentioned that any mantra that we chant, it is very important that we know the meaning behind it and that we chant it with utmost purity and devotion. It is also important that we pronounce these mantras correctly. And that is how, through these 3 sessions, we have mastered these various different dimensions of the Gayatri Mantra. And we've also thanked the people behind it. We've understood how a Gayatri Mantra is able to give us so many benefits. But this is not it. There are so many other benefits. And it is completely astonishing on how vibrations affect our body. Therefore, there are so many other secrets. There are infinite benefits of this mantra. And there are so many more experiences. So, all of these experiences and this journey of exploring and identifying the benefits and the different mysteries will not end in this Gayatri series. But this is a journey which we have all started, and this will go on throughout our life. So we shall all, throughout our life, focus and try to identify the different benefits, because as we saw, it has such deep connection with our original form, that is the vibration or the light of the self. With that, we come to an end of the series, but it gives us a new beginning and a new perspective to the mantra we've all been chanting throughout our life. I hope all of you enjoyed today's story session. And here's something you'll enjoy even more, and that is the quiz time. So we have 3 questions. I request all of you, if you know the answer, please raise your hand, and whoever raises their hand first will receive a chance to answer. Let's not waste any time and move forward. The first question is, who was Raja Rishi Kaushika renamed as? Option A, Brahmarishi Valmiki. Option B, Brahmarishi Vishwamitra. Option C, Brahmarishi Vashishta. Or option D, Brahmarishi Varuna. I have a look on the participants list. I see that Tejas has raised his hand first. Go ahead, Tejas.
Brahmarishi Vishwamitra.
Excellent, Tejas. You're right. Your answer is correct. It's Brahmarishi Vishwamitra. Our next question, what does Vishwamitra mean? Friend of humans, friend of God, friend of universe, or both A and B? Yes, Snigdha, unmute yourself and give the answer.
Friend of universe.
Excellent, excellent, Snigdha. The correct answer is friend of the universe. The third and the final question of this amazing quiz time is, which of the following is the benefit of chanting the Gayatri Mantra? With devotion, definitely, and correct pronunciation. Option A, improved intuition. Option B, better concentration. Option D, strengthened mind. Or option D, all of the above. Yes, Pramukh, what do you think is the answer?
It's all of the above.
Very good. I really appreciate all of you who have raised your hand and those who were able to answer, and also those who did not raise their hand but listened to the story intently and answered to yourself. Excellent. A huge round of applause to all the divine Atma Jyotis.